Insecurity has become a major concern for many Nigerians, with kidnappings, banditry, terrorism, and communal clashes affecting lives and livelihoods across the country. Many are wondering what drives these insecurity challenges and what can be done to control them. In our conversation today, we will be exploring the complex factors that contribute to insecurity in Nigeria, from poverty and unemployment to corruption and governance challenges. We will also be discussing the role of security agencies, community engagement, and government policies in addressing these issues. Good morning and welcome back. You're now on the lifestyle segment on the weekend show. I'm Tenda Chimelu.
And I'm Lucy Ojiti.
And joining us on the conversation today, we have
Dr. Duke Alaboye. He is the CEO Green Assembly Initiative National Leader, Nigeria National Youth Organization. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good morning.
And also we have Monday Ehimare Jeffrey, ESQ. He's the Principal Solicitor, MJ Ehimare and Co. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to start with my first question, but I'd like both of you to give your perspectives. But I'd like to start with you, Mr. Duke. What do you think are the root causes of insecurity in Nigeria, and how do you think they can be addressed?
Well, the root causes of insecurity in our country is well known. So basically, I don't like discussing the root causes. They are widespread causes, universal causes, and domesticated causes. So in Nigeria, basically, there's a lot going on in our country that constitute the causes of insecurity: poverty, low level of education, unemployment rate, and all of that, inflation. All of that, non-existence of innovation, no productive system, all these indices are well known. So basically, I take little time to discuss the causes, but what Nigerians are bothered about today is the ways forward. How can this insecurity in our country be handled? Politically motivated, economically motivated, socially motivated. So these are the three ambience at which I can illustrate the causes of insecurity in our country. So what bothers us mostly, and what should be discussing, is the solutions which we can bring on board to solving insecurity in our country. Very good thanks to this administration again. They've given at least 80% of concentration to solving these issues of insecurity. And that gives us the hope, that gives us the confidence that it will come to an end. It's all encompassing. We've seen the military, the direction every day per day today is how to see how they can solve the issues of insecurity, most basically banditry and all other ones that are affecting the entirety of our nation. The police, the DSS, almost all the service arms are really concentrating in how to see that this menace comes to an end. So that's why I want to give kudos to them in what they are doing. In carrying out this, they are also losing men per day. They are losing and also getting experience. So the combating system in our nation was not geared towards what we are expecting, what we're having today. Nobody envisaged that Nigeria will come to a time where we have infiltrators, a time we'll have bandits, a time we'll have kidnapping looking like a business. So the military force is not trained or has not been geared towards facing this kind of menace. So I think there's a lot that needs to be done within the military circle. Then let's come to our communal circle again. There's a lot to do. The issue of insecurity, how to solve insecurity, cannot be left in the hands of the military alone. So that when people begin to shout military, military, I was asking a friend the other day the instance of when you go into a community and wipe the whole community, about 200 houses, 100 houses, the occupants or human beings living there would have been more than 200. So it does not take one person to enter such community, to wipe such community off. It would have taken lots of persons. So where are the local intelligence? Where are the DPOs? Where are the local government chairmen? Where are the councillors? These people have constitutional rights, first of all, to protect lives and properties. Where are those local authorities that are saddled with the responsibility of solving these immediate issues by way of giving out intelligence, by way of first-class combating, by way of escalating the menace that would have come to this thing. So I think every hands must be on deck, and that is the way we should go. Thank God, just yesterday or days by, I also heard that the president has embraced AI. I appreciate that, because we have one of the people that have been preaching one of the solutions that should be used should be the use of technology. I don't know why we are not embracing technology to do that. I've had conversations with military personnel that go to combat these issues or confront these issues. They say sometimes, even where they are, they see drones from the bandits. So you can imagine if bandits are also using drones. Why are we not embracing it? And I think it's a whole lot. And since AI has been approved, in the usage of AI has been approved, it means that we are driving to real technology. It's not every instance that you deploy human force. I think there are stages where it has to be intelligence, it has to be surveillanced, before, if there's a word like that, before you deploy human effort. So I think we will get to it, and the advocacy is also very key, because some people don't even know. They make people at the local area believe that when you indulge yourself in this, there's a pay religional effect. They make people believe that your region permits you to fight for your community, fight for your region, for your religion, and then that when you die, you're going to see God and all that. So the solutions is what we're discussing, and we are deliberate about it.
Okay. Let us hear from you as a legal practitioner. Most persons have the opinion that it is not the laws, it is the enforcement of the laws that is our problem in Nigeria. So what is your take on that?
Thank you very much. On the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, like my brother stated earlier, we have issues of bad government policies, weak governance. We have issues of border strength. We have issues of poverty. We have issues of unemployment, and so on. Now, in all of this, the law is what it is.
Exactly.
The enforcement of same, the judiciary happens to be the ones that interpret the law. We have the police and every other body that enforce same.
Yes.
Now, I would like to be practical, and whenever I'm on this show, I normally give it the way it is. I will just drop it and let it stay there, irrespective of who is involved. Now, I would want to, the judiciary has no business with insecurity in the society, because the laws are plain, written on paper, black and white. If A does this, there is a sanction. So I think that aspect has no filtration. It's very, very sound. Because once you pick this glass cup and you take it out of this place, there is a penalty. So it is what it is. The problem we have with insecurity, I'll just talk on one because of time and all of them. It's governance policy. If a law is made, we don't want Okadas in FCT. We don't want Kekes in FCT. And there are no other
Means of transport.
No, let's even leave means of transportation. There is no other remedial techniques put in place by the government. You have like 10,000 Okada men on the streets. Now, these same bike men, they have families. Some of them are on hire purchase. Some of them have assemblies to cater for, and their own very self. And you just wake up one morning, you bring up one weak policy, and say you don't want to see Okada in FCT. You have 10,000 persons unemployed.
With no
Exactly.
Who must survive.
Without opportunities.
Without opportunities. They must survive. At the end of time, I assure you, you will have 2,000 persons who will go into illegalities. I witnessed a scenario. I didn't even know when tears dropped down my eyes. When they were destroying bikes at Area 1 roundabout. JTF, Joint Task Force, the VIO, Army, police, and they brought a bulldozer. They were crushing them down.
Oh my goodness.
All of those people, they were standing up. They were just standing on top of that hill where you have that park on top. Some of them were crying. They were holding some. Some want to even engage in violence. Now, these persons, you've displaced them from their source of livelihood. What would they do? They must survive. Their family must survive. Now, if you're blocking the borders, for instance, we don't want importation of rice. What are the remedial techniques you have put in place? What is the system? These people that deals on importation, these people that are Okada riders.
What alternative do they
What
have?
alternative have you put in place for them to ease the action and the effect after same? You see, security, as simple as it connotes, is a very broad topic. And unless the government takes the welfare of its citizens at heart, which is the primary responsibility of the Constitution, to protect Nigerians, before bringing out policies. You don't go to other countries, you see one or two things, you see that is working, and you just jump into conclusion. You will do your feasibility study. You will go to the grassroots. Like the earlier speaker said, the DPOs, the local authorities, what are they doing? You will go down. If I remove this from this, what will be the position of this table? Will it be looking beautiful? So all of these are what our government have failed to look into. There was a time we bought rice for, I think for 100 plus
Exactly.
thousand. How many of the common Nigerians can afford that? But they will eat rice. It's already something that is used to their system. So if we are trying to fight insecurity, we are trying to make Nigeria a very secured country, all of these policies must be put into place. Okay, we heard about the policy where they brought about that they were going to be giving some certain Nigerians some certain amount in their account, those that couldn't afford it. Now, what is the criteria for determining a Nigerian that can afford it? If you go to the local regions, those women you have in those places where you have killings in Benue, majority of them don't have account.
The ones who really need it.
Yeah, and they are the ones that need such palliative. How do you go about your verification, your analysis, your conclusion that these are the persons that are to be rendered them? So you see, the major problem we have is failed policies. And it's affecting badly.
It is.
If I will have to eat and my children will have to eat, and you are unable to provide for me, we know the story of Jesus. Jesus came to die for us, that we might be redeemed. He became poor, that we might become rich. You know, when you go to Sunday school, this is what you are taught every day. Now, it is the responsibility. The way Jesus is the head of the church, that's how the father is the head of the house. It's scriptural. Now, as a father who loves his children so much, I, for one, I can take bullet for my children. I can sacrifice myself for my children to be happy. So, if I'm an Okada rider, and my Okada is seized by the federal government, and there is no way I can provide food for my children, what do you expect?
So in a nutshell, what you're saying is some of the causes of these insecurities are the policies that were put in place by the government that
Yes.
takes away the source of livelihoods.
Takes
of
away
some
the source of livelihood, because if such policy is very harsh on the common man, some of us who could afford some of these basic amenities. If you take it away from the common man, how do you intend to get peace?
Okay.
Interesting. So let's move on to other questions now. Let me come to you, Mr. Duke. So we're using the recent killings and clashes in Benue State as a case study.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think are the causes of these communal herder-farmer clashes? What are the real intricate causes of these issues, because they keep reoccurring in different communities across the nation? Is this really just a herder-farmer clash, or is there an undertone, political or tribal or what have you? Is there a bigger picture to all of this? What's your opinion on that?
I want to agree with you. There's a bigger picture, and then we have a way of hiding under instances. So when a governor is fighting with under political leader, and those two communities clash, they say it's either farmers political. Today, the president waved into Benue issue, solved the political crisis, and everything is settled. So are we going to say, let me ask the question rhetorically, are we going to say it was really what we claim to call the herders and farmers this thing? Even though there are no tendencies, it's common. It has been in existence. In those days, there were no modernized way of even transporting livestock. They passed through this same routine, where you see these cattle rearers rest with their animals and feed and graze, and then they move on. We've coexisted very well with those local ways of transporting livestock, and there was no this opera of herders and farmers there. So I think it's motivated. I think the picture is bigger, and I think the security agencies are also very, very aware of that. That's why if you begin to coin any act of insecurity around this, the security agencies, they don't give attention to it, because they already know that this is just a way to cover up. You can't say because of herders and farmers, thousands of people, a whole community is raised down. No, come on, we should wake up to that effect. It's not true. So I think the political system is really confronting these issues. If a politician, after election, let me take an instance of a governor, after election, it doesn't matter who didn't vote you. Your duty, your sole responsibility now is to govern all the whole state as an entity. You're in charge of the borders of that state, you're in charge of the communities, you're in charge of the LGAs, everywhere you're in charge. So if we have a system where the rebate for electing one again is by these indices, so many governors will not even return, because they pay back in the way they appoint. They now even sectionalize one part that maybe had gotten belief for their people. Like in my state, we have been yearning for a riverine governor. So if, for instance, an upland governor won the election, he should originally know that the riverine people would have rallied round a riverine governor. Does not mean that they hate him. So in your level of appointment, you must consider the holistic nature of the state. So this is one thing. So you begin to see that in 4 years governance, a particular people will begin to be marginalized. And those people in turn will not support. Let me tell you what happened in Benue State. Hence, we are using that as an instance. There is a problem between there are two factions, political, big factions in the state. So the governor will fold his hands where it affects where it does not belong. The other faction will fold their hands where it does not affect them. But the issue is that the Benue people, the common people in Benue State, are the people bearing the brunt of what is happening. So we think that to solve insecurity permanently, if there's going to be, is to begin to visit the grassroots. These occurrences are not happening in the city centers. These killings are not happening in the city centers. They are happening in the communities. And if you take a demography of the communities in the northern Nigeria, you will see that there are more land spans than than habitants. Not like in the south we have, in the whole community you see lots of building. You take distance before you see little settlements and all of that. All these areas constitute a community. So you could easily kidnap somebody and in 5, 10, 20 minutes walk, you're not even seeing any other person to apprehend this. So we need to be deliberate about the local content. Who are the administrators in the localities? What are their duties? Let's begin to revamp. And that is why by August, we are invoking a grassroots convocation to discuss insecurity. We are inviting all 774 local government chairmen, all commissioners of youth and women affairs in the states, DPOs, if possible, in the country. Let's come and begin to domesticate the discussion for insecurity. Not when something happened in our locality, we blame Tinubu, that is in Abuja. When something happened in our community, we blame the CDS, that is in Kaduna. We blame the IG, that is in the southeast. Understand? They have distributed structures. So these structures have to give feedback. These structures have to be on ground to first of all apprehend those issues. In those days, if you have committed a crime in the community, if they take you to the DPO or police station, it's as though you're going to face the law, like you rightly said. So before you even go to DPO, you would have gotten local solutions. They will first take you to the youth leaders in the community to ascertain the level of your crime.
Yes.
If it is petty, they give you stroke, they give you local punishment, roll on the floor, they flog you,
Community
and you go
service.
home. Yes, if it is a little bit family inclined, they take it to the community head to look into it. When it is criminal and out of reach of within those their authorities, they take it to the DPO. The DPO then is like the constitutional orator of your community. He has his men, but it's unfortunate that nobody is looking at them. To talk of the local government chairman, that is the #1 citizen of a community. He has councillors. Councillors are derived from all
The council wards.
the council wards. So if these persons are not up to their toe, you're talking about the men that just have administrative job in Abuja to solve the issues. So we must be deliberate about bringing them, giving the reorientation. DPOs are sleeping. Local authorities, local security authorities are sleeping. People are beginning to go into self-resort by calling for government to approve local vigilantes and regional security architecture, which I think Nigeria is not really ripe for that. But it has come to that place where people want to tend to have self-defense. So I want to quickly key into what he has also said about policies. Even though our policies, like I see, is a little bit obsolete, I don't want to believe that when an uncommon law or an uncommon bylaw or whatever I want to call it in a state comes up, it propels people into illegalities. I don't want to encourage that. If you're stopped from doing Okada business, you sell your Okada and enter into another business. It should not propel you into thinking illegally.
But
Even
don't
though
you
I
think
agree,
if Okadas are banned,
even
how
though I
do you
agree.
sell your Okada?
Yeah, if Okadas are bound, if you, for instance, and I don't think that there's been that rash decision
Not just
in any
banned,
society.
seized by the government.
Now, Okadas in the country that I know are not bound totally. The instance of Okada is for safety. I think there are very available data that most of the accidents we have in this country are of those 2 cycles.
Yeah, but I don't think his
the
opinion
ban-
is against the policy.
So I
It's
think
about
the
not
ban-
creating an alternative source of
the
income.
ban is on certain areas. Now, I agree that there are some laws that are harsh to human existence in a community, mostly a common community where you come in to say, oh, they happen a lot, keying into what he's saying. I agree with him. The problem is when you want to embark on those laws that solve issue A, what is the resultant effect? This is what they don't put on ground. That
that
is
is
where
migrating,
that is
yes.
where I buy into is submission. So
Okay,
we must be
before-
deliberate to make sure that any decision we are going to take that will make people's standard of living or level of living deviate, there must be
An
a proactive
alternative.
or an alternative measures to it.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Mr. Duke.
Yeah.
Final question. So because of time, we have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I like the way you get asked one question and then you go on to answer more after that. Thank you so much. We hope to see more of you on subsequent. We need to continue this conversation and complete it. So we will definitely see more of you on the weekend show. Thank you so much, Mr. Monday,
It's a pleasure.
Mr. Duke.
It's a
Thank you
pleasure.
very
Thank you very
much.
much for having us here.
All right. So we'll take a quick short break and we'll be back with the political segment on the weekend show. I'm Tenda Chimelu.
And I'm Lucy Ojiti. Thank you for watching.
Stay tuned.